Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Please help me spread this video. I would love to see the stadium empty for Game 6 of the World Series because the word spread that the games are rigged and it's a done deal. The Houston Astros will close out the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 6. It is a lock. It is all but a guarantee. And I'm going to show you exactly why. As I've been proving since 2013, the world of professional sports is completely scripted. The champions are decided long before the season even begins. And to cut right to the chase, I'll show you why Verlander in Game 6 is going to close out the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Verlander, when he came over to the Astros, he came over on the same day the La Tuna fires began, which was September 1st. Houston got flooded August 27th. LA caught on fire on September 1st. And I said then, it's all but certain this will be your World Series. And remember, water beats fire when it comes to the elements. Water puts out fires. Look at this. Verlander is number 35. He's going to turn 35 exactly 112 days after Game 6. And in the language of gematria, Houston equals 112. When Houston wins Game 6, it'll be their 112th win of the season. They had 101 in the regular season. It's going to be number 112 when they win Game 6. And what's interesting about the Astros season is they won 101 games in the regular season. The last time they were in the World Series, it was the 101st World Series. They were in the National League then. 101's the 26th prime number. The word game has gematria of 26. So does ball game, 26. Special number. For a little more knowledge, when you write out card game, it equals 52. Think about how many cards are in a deck of cards. 52. The word mathematics is 112. 1 plus 1 is 2. Circle's 112. Sacred's 112. The circle is sacred to the occult. Think about it. It's all about the mathematics of cycles and circles, like professional sports, annual events. So Verlander will close out the Dodgers. Look at his name, Justin Verlander 213. Hello, that's the LA area code. He's going to close it out in LA by the numbers in the 213. The name Verlander, also 54. 54 outs in a complete game. Last year I guaranteed the Cubs would win the World Series in spring training. I thought last year in spring training they'd do it over the Astros for the 112th World Series. When the Astros were eliminated, I said why it would be over the Indians and why it would be in Game 7. Exactly what happened. Anyhow, I also predicted that number 54 for the Cubs would be the final pitcher in that World Series because that's a big baseball number. Notice baseball in gematria equals 54. Two methods out of our 4-base ciphers. In case you're new here, English ordinals, the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Reverse ordinals, the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1, A is 26. Notice baseball is 162, like the number of games in a season. Reduction is numerology. So it's the same methods forwards and backwards, but using numerology. So in full reduction, Z is worth 8 because 26 is 2 plus 6 is 8. You make each letter a single digit, you add. Reverse reduction, it's the alphabetic order in reverse, making each letter a single digit. And check out what happens when I write Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, also 162, like the number of games in a season. 351's the 26th prime number. Again, game 26, ball game 26. That's the God number. God equals 26 in English and in Hebrew. Go back and see my work on what happened this year on June 3rd in Major League Baseball. Big tribute in that day. There were some Grand Slam records, and they were all about 154. Grand Slam 164, or 154, just like the name Doubleday, Abner Doubleday, the Freemason who created American baseball. Let me bust out the Sumerian gematria. Notice MLB is 54. In Sumerian, MLB is also 162, the number of games in a season. Just by looking at this alone, you should be able to go, okay, what this guy's showing me is not any fluke or coincidence. All of the world of professional sports is this way. Everything is built on this code. Everything that happens in the United States of America and in this entire world, where English is the language of the New World Order, is done by this code. This code is also built in accordance with the Gregorian calendar, which we're on, the nonsensical calendar system we celebrate. Ask yourself, why did they move New Year's from the springtime when everything is anew to the middle of winter when everything's dying? You know why? It's because these sick tyrants who rule over us celebrate death. Look at what's happening in the Northeast right now as I make this video. It's the anniversary of Sandy, when Sandy made landfall in New York, causing devastation. Today leaves 63 days left in the year. Sandy, 63. Right now, the same region getting attacked by a storm, by the numbers, which I don't want to get into. Just showing you why Verlander is going to close it out in Game 6. Been saying Houston's going to win this World Series. June of 2014, the Sports Illustrated cover shows Springer, number 4 for the Astros, with the caption, "Your 2017 World Series champs." In spring training this year, I said I expected the Astros to be in the World Series. I said if I was wrong about the Astros, it could be the Tigers because of the Cubs riddle. The Cubs had the curse of the Billy Goat with the Tigers. I like the Astros, but I said if not them, it could be the Tigers, and look at who they got. Verlander, the star player of the Tigers. You see how scripted this all is? None of this is coincidence. So, Game 6. Here's what else you need to know. 6 in gematria sums to 52. And look at what time they're starting this game, just like they started today at 5:20, like 52. That's because the word flood has ordinal gematria of 52, just like 6. And as I pointed out, the first game in Houston after the flood was with the New York Mets. New York getting terrorized right now with the storm. And the visiting pitcher was Matt Harvey after the flooding of Harvey. And, you know, all these people who are at these baseball games, you know, tonight, going to be there on Halloween, they're a joke. How can you not know what's going on in the world after Major League Baseball schedules Matt Harvey is the first pitcher in Houston after the flooding? So anyway, 6:52, flood 52, Game 6 makes a lot of sense to close out, especially with Verlander on the mound, who came over at age 34 right after the flooding of Harvey. You see Harvey's 34. The word element is also 34. And think about it. LA burned by the numbers. Houston flooded by the numbers. Houston flooded on a date with 52 numerology on the 239th day of the year. August 27th, 239 is the 52nd prime number. Plus it had 52 numerology this year. 8 plus 27 plus 17. 8 plus 27 is also 35. The number that Verlander wears. Flooding, 35. Verlander's going to go put the water down on LA and close out the World Series in Game 6, you see. See the work I just did on the Dodgers winning Game 4 just yesterday? Yesterday had a date of 55 numerology, right? The word burn equals 55. It was 55 days after the La Tuna fires were declared a state of emergency, 55 days later. And who was on the mound? Wood. Wood burns. You get the joke? Wood wears the number 57. I was talking about how the SI cover came out on George Orwell's birthday, who wrote 1984. Wood threw 84 pitches. His 84th was hit out as a home run by number 4, who's on the cover from the magazine of George Orwell's birthday, the author of 1984. By the way, World Series equals 57. And the reason why is because it's all about the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 57. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Abner Doubleday, the world of rig sports. Also interesting, Justin equals 93, like Latuna, which were declared a state of emergency on 9/3, September 3rd. October 31st will be a span of 61 days since he joined the team. The word time equals 61. Saturn to the occult is the keeper of time. Saturn also equals 93. So how nice. On his 61st day, he gets to close it out. Think about the Roger Maris record of 61 home runs in 61. That's the 18th prime number. Baseball equals 18. October 31st will also be a date with 41 numerology. Houston equals 41. So does LA. LA's the 13th prime number. Remember, game one, record heat, fire in LA, 103. 103 is the 27th prime, connecting to baseball and MLB. 103 is a lot like 13. That game was 1-3. 13 strikeouts by the Dodgers. The closer had 13 pitches. Altuve, the final batter, 1 for 3. The stat up on the screen as the game closed out. 1031 is, of course, also Halloween, which equals 41, just like 10 plus 31. They'll close out the Dodgers 4-2, which is a lot like 42. Freemason equals 42. Los Angeles Dodgers, show you this about Los Angeles Dodgers, equals 181, which is the 42nd prime number. You see it? We had the black actor die at age 89 during game one. Then we had the black musician, Fats Domino, die at 89 the next day in a town called Harvey, I believe in Mississippi, somewhere down in the South, but the town was Harvey, dead at 89 the next day. You see these rituals? Those were the 2 games played in Los Angeles. And I haven't been paying attention to see if there's been any more deaths in recent days, but I did catch those 2. The 2 dead black men, age 89, back-to-back days, while the games were in LA. And I told everybody why the Astros would definitely win Game 2 on the day leaving 67 days left in the year. Again, water beats fire. Water equals 67. The final score of that game was 6-7. And it's always this way when you know the code. It is just so rigged, Truth Seeker. And look at that. In Sumerian, water's 4:02, which is a lot like 4 games to 2. They're bringing the water from the Houston flooding to LA to close it out with Mr. 213, who came over right after Harvey. See how sick it is? And on the same day, they set the fire in LA. For those of you who are listening going, this can't all be, I mean, how could they? Look, you guys need to get caught up. You need to tune out these rig sports game and read something about your world. Since 1952, world militaries have admitted to flash flooding on command. The Lynmouth flash flooding disaster. They said 35 people were killed, by the way. Then 52 years later to the day, the same area flooded. And about 1 million times since then, there's been flooding by the numbers in history. You know, all of these major storms are the work of mad science. In 1952, they could do it with chemistry, putting chemicals up in the sky. It was called cloud seeding. It's 2017. They got cloud seeding. They have HARP. They have all this different type of technology now. They said 52 inches of rain came down in the Houston area. And by the way, the day that happened, the flooding in Houston, August 27th, a Sunday, biblical day, that was the 27-year anniversary of the death of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who had the album Texas Flood, his best-selling album. It's murder by numbers. It's weather warfare by numbers. It's rig sports by the numbers. So, happy Halloween. Trick or treat. If you're in that stadium on Halloween, you're a fucking asshole. You're giving your money to tyrants who are going to use that money on the next contrived storm, on the next contrived false flag, on the next 9/11. Like it says in George Orwell's 1984, all it took to rule over the people were films, sports, gambling, and beer. By the way, United States of America equals 84. So does Masonry. So does Jesuit. And it's the Masons and Jesuits that control the world of sports. Of course, the Jesuits are the Masons within the Catholic Church. All right, truth seeker. Until next time.